Alright, welcome back to another video, and today we're doing something very different. Usually in my videos I'm always like traveling somewhere to go look for a specific snake, whereas today we're actually just on the outskirts of the town where I live, and you can see the raindrops on the windshield, which is actually very significant because today has been the first day of rain after a very long and severe drought, and when conditions are like this it usually means there's going to be an explosion of snake activity on the roads. So we're just going to be heading out to some rural roads on the edge of town and do a couple hours of road cruising and see what's around. Alright, literally 5 minutes into cruising, we just stopped for a baby owl that flew away, and as we started driving again, the first snake has made an appearance.
A Malayan pit.
Correct, a Malayan pit viper. Lovely male, you can see by the very elongated head and very long tail as well. If it was a female, the tail would be much more tapered towards the end. Pretty decent size though. For a Malayan pit viper in general, not very big, but around Hua Hin, the localities here are generally way smaller than everywhere else across their population. So for around here, this is actually a very decent size animal. It's pretty cool tonight as well. Let's see how he reacts if we carefully okay, we're not gonna take any risks. Let me go find a stick. Alright, got myself a stick and we're going to move him off the road, but we're going to have a quick look at him first. Now, Malayan pit vipers are known for being one of the most bitey and defensive species of viper in the country, but in my experience, as with most species that have that reputation, they're really not actually that bad as long as you know how not to press their buttons. Gonna be careful anyway though, because they are after all one of the most toxic vipers in the country. But as you can see, if you're slow and gentle with them, generally they're by no means aggressive or super bitey. I'm gonna try and show you what sets these ones apart from other locality Malayan pit vipers. Around the Hua Hin area, for one, they're not very big. This is what would be considered a large individual male for this area, whereas in the south this would be considered a subadult at this size. The other difference is the patterning on the head. If you come in close, wait, let me see if I can get him onto the stick a bit better. If you come in close, you can see that on the side of the head, this one is just plain gray below that lighter stripe, whereas other locality animals have that like typical arch pattern, which I'm going to overlay now. Wait, he's crawling towards my hand there, but you might be able to see now that he's staying still how the side of the head is just plain gray, whereas other locality animals usually have that very typical arch pattern. What a nice little snake. And as long as I don't do any drastic fast movements, it should be reasonably safe to let him crawl over my hand. Not that I'm suggesting anyone to replicate this, but I do it just to show that these animals, as you can see, are by no means out to get us, and as long as you know what would scare them and what doesn't, you can quite safely get away with doing stuff like this without being, in my opinion, at any great risk of being bit. How cool is that? Anyway, now the only challenge is going to be to retrieve my hand from here without startling him. And there's two ways to do this, either very slow or very quick. I'm probably going to opt for the somewhat quick approach. Gonna see the... There we go. See? Alright, let's get this thing released and keep searching. Follow me. Cut. Right, about to get back in the car. And this is actually insane. Look at the amount of flying termites in the air here. It's like they were pestering Sky so hard while filming that it was actually difficult to get a good video. This is literally crazy. So many flying termites. Right, as predicted, this is insane. We literally have not even been driving for 30 seconds since that last take. Do you have the snake hook? And there's another snake, which I'm fairly certain from the outline that I saw on the road is another Malayan pit viper. This time, you can see the nice comparison. This is a female. You can see she's much fatter in general, but also the head, it's broader, not as elongated. And look how tapered the tail is. Of course, these flying termites are messing with her as well as with my camera work. But yeah, probably gonna just let her cruise on off, but it's good to see these, you know, with all the drought we've been having. It's probably been about 4 or 5 months since I saw one around here for the last time. And now we just got 2 in like 1 minute. Really, really nice. Much pale, reduced pattern, but I have to get out of here. Look at the amount of termites, and there's equally many on my face. So we'll just scoot her off the road and keep searching. Let's go. Alright, the termite flying ant problem has gotten pretty crazy. Look at this street lamp here. It's literally like fog, but they're all alive. And every time we stop the car for more than a second, this is how many gather around our spotlights. Crazy. Just stop for another Malayan pit viper and approach slowly, approach slowly. Have a look at that. This one is in the middle of eating a gecko. It's what these snakes do. They come out onto the roads at night here because a lot of like small animals like frogs, geckos and stuff, when they want to get from A to B, they actually come out of the grass and run along the road and then go back in somewhere else because it's a lot quicker and easier than going through the bushes. So that's actually where these Malayan pit vipers very strategically set themselves up. And have a look at that. The gecko is still alive. And this Malayan pit viper is actually just eating him. He must have just caught him a few moments before we pulled up. Pretty small Malayan pit viper as well. Smallest one we've seen tonight. Looks like a young female. I hope that the amount of flying termites that our light is attracting isn't going to disrupt its meal. But he's mostly done, so I think this should be alright. There's a motorbike coming past. Alright, I've got to move so the motorbike can go past. See, he's starting to get a bit annoyed by the termites, but usually snakes, once they've eaten over 50% of the meal, they're not as easily disturbed, and they'll usually finish it, but as you see, he is starting to not appreciate all these flying ants directly in his face, so he's trying to finish his meal as quick as possible. Or she, sorry. Maybe once she's almost done, we'll get a nice view of her fangs. Usually when snakes are done eating, they'll like stretch to realign their jaw. It's amazing how after these rains, everything just springs to life. You can hear so many frogs and stuff calling. Alright, I think he's gonna move off, and well, on Earth there's 2 different species of termite here now as well. You get these big ones, now some smaller ones as well. Unfortunately for these snakes, their strategic place of sitting in ambush on roads also means they get hit by vehicles often, so we're gonna encourage this one to move off. That was pretty cool though. Right before we were getting back in the car, this guy just spotted a nice, relatively small Scolopendra dehani, the Vietnamese centipede, and look at that. He caught a flying termite and he's eating it. That's something you won't see me pick up very often. I'm not scared of them. I think they're pretty cool, but I do have healthy respect for them, and I somehow can't overcome the feeling that they are way more unpredictable than snakes, so... Oh wow, he just caught another one. He's having an absolute feast out here. Look at that, he's just catching and cleaning them up one after the other. And look at that, he's actually using his legs to hold onto some under his body that he's probably saving for later. Look at that. In here, he's got like a whole cluster of termites that he's like holding onto with his legs. Alright, this is pretty funny. Alright, let's go find snakes though. Alright, didn't start filming the moment I got out the car because I wasn't actually sure if it was a snake, but I'm pretty sure this is the same Malayan pit viper from earlier, no?
Yeah, that we just moved.
Yeah, the same female. As you can see, she came right back onto the road because the edge of the road is a great ambush spot. Not really good for her because there's a high chance she'll get run over doing this. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's the same female we just moved off the road. Maybe I should move her a bit further. Let me grab a stick. Alright, she actually as I was about to do that, started moving off again on her own, but I want to get her a bit further away from the road because obviously she's just going to come right back the moment we leave. Pretty large adult female. Very healthy too. I'm surprised she's this fat considering how dry it's been the last couple of months. Alright, this isn't working. Well, maybe I've scared her enough to not come back. Interesting. Actually, just walking back to the car, and I just like shone my light into the bushes here, and look right in the middle there. See that? That is a sleeping bronzeback of some sort. I'm only in flip-flops, and as we just learned, there's plenty of Malayan pit vipers here, but I think I'm gonna risk it to go grab it. The first snake of the night that wasn't a Malayan pit viper. And it is, I know it's a bronzeback, not sure yet which species. Ah, a nice Burmese bronzeback. Dendrolaphus subocularis. Yeah, these aren't dangerous, so. Oh, Andy's biting me, but have a look at this. It's the yellow morph. This is actually really rare. The vast majority of individuals of this species do not have the yellow head like that, but rather just like a grayish brown. Let me just get back to the road real quick. Right, have a look at this. He's doing a bit of a death roll to try and escape my grip, but yeah, a nice yellow-headed morph of the Burmese bronzeback. Quite uncommon. Only the probably third, maybe fourth individual that has a yellow head that I've ever seen. The vast majority just have a brown head. Very nice, though. These are the more common species of bronzeback in the area. This one also has an entire yellow venter, which is quite interesting. The other bronzeback around here is the painted bronzeback, but those typically sleep a bit higher in vegetation, whereas these usually sleep, as we just found it, on low little shrubs and stuff. They are also much more terrestrial, whereas the painted one spends most of its time up in the trees. Very wiry little dude. Anyway, just gonna let him go and keep cruising. Nice, first snake that wasn't a Malayan pit viper. Got another snake. Shoot, where'd it go? Oh yeah, this is a species I was hoping we would find. This is Buigo multomaculata, the many-spotted cat snake. Not an incredibly common one, and also a lifer for Sky. You want to pick him up?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's gonna nip me, isn't he?
It might, but these are only mildly venomous and not dangerous at all to people. So even if it bites you, nothing really will happen.
It doesn't make me feel that good, but that's okay.
It's okay. Like, if it bites you, just, like, stay calm and wait for it to let go. The bites don't really hurt a lot. But if you're gentle, probably it won't even bite. Good size adult as well. These are probably the smallest species of Buiga, and the only one that we get directly around the town where I live. Very, very nice. I was really, like, on the drive here, actually, I was just saying to Sky that I really hope we see one of these. It's been probably best part of, like, 6 months since I last saw one of these. Nice little colubrid which feeds almost exclusively on geckos. Focus trouble. Hold it a bit more down. Yeah. Yeah, and you can see they are called cat snakes because they have these. He's probably gonna bite me.
It's actually quite nice.
Yeah, if you're gentle with them, they sometimes don't bite. But you can see, if my camera will focus, they have these like very cat-like eyes with vertical pupils. Very timid little snake as well. You can see he like keeps like twitching back every time he senses something. There you can see the eye. Real pretty one. Nice. Let's let him go and keep searching.
What are you doing?